like I said, knowing prefixes, knowing suffixes, knowing roots of the word. You know, two words that I've really paid attention to, and one that I've taken out of my vocabulary are entertainment and humility. Humble. I don't fuck with humble at all, ever. I would never call myself humble. I would never like when people tell me to humble myself, I shun that shit. I don't accept that. Never let a motherfucker tell you to be humble, because you got to understand what humble means. People don't, because it has been used in a certain dynamic, it's been accepted, but it's never defined to be understood. And I say that on the strength that when somebody says, oh, this made me humble, or I'm such a humble person, and then you look at the definition of humble, it means to be insignificant, to make less than, to make insignificant. Like, what are you humbling yourself to? You feel what I'm saying? That's a very important thing. That something would want you to be humble and be insignificant, right? So then, you know, you get the drawbacks to where people are like, that's not what humble means. Humble means that, you know, you don't think too much of yourself. You know, that's modest. That's modest, not humble. You feel what I'm saying? That's why it's important to understand the exact definition and not synonyms. Synonyms will fuck you up. Synonyms, antonyms. But I'll get into that a little bit later. You feel what I'm saying? So when someone tells you to be humble, the root word of humble is also the root word found in humility, because we didn't use those two interchangeably. We'll say, oh, you practice humility because you're humble, right? So if humble and humility derive from the same source, where the fuck does humiliation and humiliated derive from? Because if somebody humiliates you, what does that mean? They've embarrassed you. You know what I mean? They've you know, disrespected you. They've done something that will really fuck up who you are. That's what humiliation is. Humility and humble all come from that same word. So you expect me to believe that being humble is good while being humiliated is bad. Mind fuck. But that's why I choose not to use that word. But another word that I actually fuck with this word, but I understand it now, so I'm selective with the shit that is associated with this word. Is entertainment. You feel what I'm saying? It's funny because a lot of motherfuckers they be like, yo, it's only entertainment, man. It's just entertainment. Don't take it so seriously. You should be taking it seriously when it's only entertainment, because let's break down what entertainment means. Not the definition of how it's, you know, TV, all of that shit. Like, fuck that. Let's look at the root words and the combination of words that bring this shit together. Enter, tain, and mint. All right? Enter means, okay, to enter, to go into, right? Tain, the root tain means to hold, right? As in contain, retain. It means to hold something. Mint, the root word, the meaning of mint is the mind. So entertainment means to go in and hold the mind. Yeah, it is only entertainment. Every Monday at 9 p.m. you have your entertainment. This same structure goes in and entertains your mind. It holds your mind. And that's why it's very important to understand words. There's so many more words that fuck motherfuckers up that they just accepted. They're like, oh, this is okay, this is what it is. But that's not what it is. That's not what it is at all. You know what I'm saying? You can't allow yourself to be wrapped up in this shit from that dynamic. You feel what I'm saying? You really gotta understand these words for yourself. You know? You gotta understand these words for yourself. This is why vocabulary is important. You know, this is why vocabulary is important. You know, if you follow me on Instagram, like one of my homies, she said, you the caption killer. Like, you know what I mean? Because like my captions are very, very detailed. They're very in tune, and I'm strategic with the words that I use to say exactly what the fuck I'm saying. There's no ambiguity. There's no ambiguity in what I'm talking about at all. You know, and this comes from, you know, my vocabulary. Now, as you can see when I'm talking, I don't use that shit. I don't speak the way that I you know, write, in essence. You feel what I'm saying? And that's because it's like in regular conversation, I'm not trying to stop anything or trying to get anything across. But you know what I mean? When I'm writing, when I'm strategically trying to get a point across, I have to use the right words to say what I'm trying to say. Because regardless of what our conscious minds think they understand and shit like that, our subconscious mind and our unconscious minds internalize the exact thing because of genetic memory, energies, all of that shit that ties into the esoteric side of life. Those things understand certain words, whether we think we understand them or not, and we internalize that shit. So I understand that, and I try to incorporate that whenever I give a message or whenever I try to, post anything. So the point of that was saying, when it comes to vocabulary, you have to know the definitions of the words you're using.